Today we're the official podcast of Bougie Coffee Drinkers Everywhere.
Fuck yes. That's me.
Cafe con leche.
Ooh.
Pretty
Say that
good.
again?
Cafe con leche.
Okay.
Pretty
Sounds
good.
fancy.
Yeah, I don't really know what's in it, but it's pretty good.
Every time I watch, or not every time I watch the Saints, but every Saints season, I learn a new random rule from the playbook. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, the ball hits the ground. Ground can't cause a fumble. That's our ball. Cool, big play. Let's move down the field. And then Greg Olson, who was annoying me all game, is like, for fans at home wondering if the ground can cause a fumble, it can. And I'm like, since when? Hey, yo, it's the Who Effing Knows podcast, episode fucking 10?
8. We're getting close to 10, though.
Hey, almost Drew Brees episode, right?
Almost the Drew Brees episode.
What's the official podcast now?
Today we're the official podcast of Bougie Coffee Drinkers Everywhere.
Fuck yes, that's me.
We switched it up tonight.
We did. Yeah, I'm on a cleanse. Not really, but
It's
you know.
late. I'm tired for no reason. Just tired today.
Yeah,
One
I'm
of those
exhausted.
days, you know.
I had a basketball game earlier, hence the leggings. So yeah, I'm exhausted too. Switch to coffee. Maybe I'll get to sleep before midnight. We'll see. Probably not.
Mine's not as fancy as yours. I see
Yeah.
some sprinkle or something
Bougie,
on top
bougie,
of that.
bougie,
motherfucker.
bougie. You know me. I'm a basic white bitch. Remember, we've said it before. No, you can't see that. There's no way y'all can see that. But it's just regular cold brew with a little bit of cream foam on top that I made myself. Some cinnamon sprinkled on top. Makes it pretty delicious. Gives me a little milk moustache.
I have some non-community coffee in my cup.
What's the brand you're
Just
rolling
Folgers
with?
today. Nothing special.
Nice.
Still local. Just Folgers.
Any specific flavor?
Nah, just whatever I guess their equivalent of like a breakfast blend is.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Is breakfast blend normally like your go-to?
Yeah, I try to buy like so you know they sell like the big like the 36 pack of K-cups. I usually buy like the breakfast blend or something equivalent to that.
Right. Right.
Just to have like, because I drink coffee all day long.
I feel you.
And it's not as strong, so I'll buy that. And then other than that, I'll buy like a 12 pack. I'll go in, you know, Winn-Dixie or whatever, and just find something that looks good. I like that like strong coffee. I like that Death Wish coffee. You ever had that?
I haven't tried it yet.
Some strong shit right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to check it out.
I bought some like a K-cup, like Cafe con leche.
Ooh.
Pretty
Say that
good.
again?
Cafe con leche.
Okay.
Pretty
Sounds
good.
fancy.
Yeah, I don't really know what's in it, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Sounds like
Strong.
milk. Anyways, what did we fuck? There was shit I wanted to talk about to start this thing off. Doesn't really matter.
I got nothing.
I got
Be
a
honest, I got
list.
nothing.
What look, we're gonna get into some emotional things. We're gonna get into some life things. We're gonna get into some other things, some Pelicans things probably. He's wearing a Pels 12 shirt.
Shout out
Nice.
to the Pels 12.
Yeah, I got an Iverson jersey on tonight, so you know, is what it is.
Trying to support the others.
Yeah,
we're all in this together, man.
I actually had a Pels 12 shirt in my closet that I was gonna put on, and I was already wearing a jersey because of the game tonight. So I don't know. I kept the jersey look, I guess. But no, I wanted to ask you, coming in here, just how you been? We started last time with that. What's going on?
Been good, man. We haven't, it's been a short turnaround from the last time we recorded. It's not our usual thing, but I'm going on vacation this weekend, so it's getting a little, schedule's a little tight, getting a little hectic around the house, getting some shit together.
Feel that?
I feel like my life hasn't been as hectic as yours, though, lately with your new job and everything.
No, I mean, you're about to go on vacation, though, so I understand. You got a lot going on, trying to get everything in order. Yeah, started a new job. I think I talked about that last week a little bit, which I was telling Dave here before we hopped into this that I've become the guy at work that, like, I just casually drop that I have a podcast, and I really don't mean to, and I don't want to be that guy in any way. It's kind of like something we'll talk about in a minute, where you're going on vacation. This kind of slides into that, I guess. The people who used to work at Disney, It's like, oh yeah, well, when I worked at Disney, I feel like people I know, which I'm actually one of them, by the way. There I am doing it. When I worked in Disney, blah 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 blah. So there's always those people that do that, and I'm trying not to do it, but here I am. But that's where you're going on vacation, right? You're heading to.
I am. Yeah. Yep. Heading out Friday night, Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Go out there. Go spend about. I think we got 3 park days. Well, 4 because we're doing the little Halloween thing.
Gotcha.
So 4 park days and an extra day out there with nothing planned.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's more than enough for me.
You excited about the Halloween party?
Yeah, I've never done it,
yeah.
So I'm pretty. I think. So my cousin told me the other day at the game that he was going to Universal to do theirs.
Nice.
And I think that would be more up my alley, because theirs seems more or less, geared towards children, like Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done. I'm sure you've done the Disney one.
I actually haven't. So I do have a story though that I could tell. When I worked in Disney, let's start the story like that. No, I haven't, and my wife really wants to do the Halloween bash. I was there one time when I was working out there, and I happened to kind of sneak in. I mean, it's Disney. They're so good at like getting rid of people that aren't supposed to be there. That you have like wristbands, they funnel you out. Anyways, but I was on a ride. And like the ride got shut down while I was in line, and I knew that the Halloween bash was coming up, and I was like, I could sit in this line and just wait, and then like it'll carry me into the Halloween party, and then I can just kind of be here for and that's what I did. And when I came out, I was actually they still like funneled me out. They were like, "Oh, you don't have a wristband? Let's walk this way. Exit's gonna be this way, sir." Full point.
You ain't slick.
Disney point, yeah. No, they're looking for you too. They're like trying to make sure you're wearing those wristbands or whatever they're gonna use this year. But yeah, it was cool because the characters that are out for that are like non-traditional characters. Like you'll see, I think I saw like Jafar, which is kind of cool because you don't see him normally. You'll see like Oogie Boogie, I think. I don't know if he's there this year, if he's in Disneyland.
Like Jack Skeleton or something like that.
Maybe. But it's people like that. It's all like just like you see villains, which is kind of cool because I'm a villain guy.
And I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming all the fireworks shows and light shows probably all change to be themed towards that.
Yeah. They'll close out that event, I think, with a Halloween themed bash fireworks show type thing. Mm-hmm. They were doing. I don't know if they're doing it this year. They were doing like a Hocus Pocus like stage show. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool. That's why. My wife wanted to go and see it. No, I've never done it, so you have to let me know
I'm
how
excited.
it is.
I mean, we got the little photo pass thing, or whatever it's called. The Magic Maker. So we'll have hundreds. I think when me and my wife went for our honeymoon, we got that and ended up with like 800 pictures. So
yeah, it's a lot of pictures.
So
yeah, I mean, when you have it, use it. Yeah, they snap like crazy.
Yeah, so. I mean, they take like 30 of them when you stop at every person.
I had a friend that I used to go to the parks with when I was out there, and they like you can basically like attach your we had main gates, but it was like basically your magic bands, mm-hmm. and you'll see whatever your friend does when they're in the park. Well, she went with her family after I had moved back home, and they had the memory maker, and like their pictures just all dropped into my thing, and I was like, holy crap, why do I have all this? It was like absurd. But yeah, no, that should be fun, man. I'm excited for you. I just figured we'd catch up on that. I'm also going, so just a little foreshadowing into what our top 5 might be tonight.
We might have a special podcast for y'all next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
The plan is to have something creative.
Yeah,
it's not. I can tell you, it's not going to be the quality of this setup, but it might be a little more fun.
We might get creative with it. Might be a lot shorter.
It's definitely going to be a lot shorter.
Sure.
My family will not be happy if I spend an hour talking to you while I'm out there.
Just go hide in a bathroom somewhere.
Yeah.
There's so much. Listen.
You might have some special appearances from my family.
That'd be cool. Shit, I've already downed my coffee, man.
We might even try to see if we can get Mickey on the pod.
Mickey on the pod. Guest appearance by Mickey Mouse himself. Oh, my notes app screwed up. Now I got to go see what I wanted to talk about. Anyways, one fun subject we can get into before we get into some of the other stuff that I feel has to be talked about, but I don't want to talk about it. I was driving around earlier, and you see the reports. NBA season's coming. Pelicans fans are buzzing. We kind of started talking Pelicans basketball last week a little bit. with the report today, I think it was that Zion's in the best shape of his life and this, and that. Anyways, it got me thinking. I wanted to ask you, where were you when we won the lottery to have the ability to draft Zion? And I asked that. Do you know?
I want to say I was at work.
Okay. For me, and you can tell me in a second, but for me, it's weird. It was one of those events that was so memorable, and not because of where I was or anything like that, because I'll tell you where I was in a second. But it was just like so shocking and like magical, maybe. It's so exciting. It was one of those events that's like just so memorable. And the thing I was doing was just so mundane. But I remember to the T where I was, how it happened, how shocked I was. I don't know. So I'm excited about Pelicans basketball, if you can't tell. But
I'm not there yet. I mean, I am excited.
Yeah.
But football is like my number one sport. And no matter how shitty the week is for us, it's still I just get entranced by football. But like I was in training camp like right around the corner, maybe next week.
Yeah. So, it is. And they also have media day coming up.
Yeah, so as soon as that starts happening, like once they're all on camera again, you start seeing the players on camera and talking, and it'll hit me.
Well, I'll tell you where I am, or I'll tell you where I was, because I want to share that story. It's boring now that you didn't have a good story, but
well, I can tell you I was at work, and the one thing I remember about it, so I don't know how you get your cable or whatever, but I use like YouTube TV or whatever I was using at the time, and I have this issue during like the Saints game and stuff too, because I have people set to notifications on Twitter and stuff like that are there or watch on actual cable.
Right.
And when things happen in the game, if it's like a critical moment in the game, I'll have and I get a notification.
Oh yeah,
on Twitter, I'm like, something's happening.
I hate it.
Something's happening. In the next 30 seconds, something's happening. And I had to like sit there with my finger over the top of my phone because I didn't want the as the lottery was going on, I'm talking about, I didn't want the notification to spoil when it got to like the top 3.
Right.
And we were there. I was like, all right, I'm putting my hand over the top because I know it's going to pop up and I don't want it to be ruined for me. So I remember vividly sitting there like this, because in a second it happened, I was getting texts from all my friends, phone calls.
Excited.
Even my grandma called me, and she doesn't really care about the Pelicans at all.
I don't remember who called me. I just remember where I was. I think I called my now wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. I was sitting outside of Little Tokyo in Metairie, on Veterans Highway. Or Boulevard, whatever it's called in that area. I was craving sushi that night. I think I'd just gotten off of work, and I was just like casually. I didn't expect this to end up even top 3. I don't remember where we were originally slotted, but I didn't even expect this to be top 3. And I knew the sushi was like coming rich. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go pick it up. I had it on my phone, literally on my phone, like sitting in my lap. I'm sitting outside of Little Tokyo waiting on my order to be ready before I run in and pick it up. And I just see that we were not only in the top 3, but then we get the number 1 pick, and I lost my fucking mind. I think I started texting everybody in my phone, like texting my wife, calling my wife. I was just like, oh my fucking God. I don't even know how good Zion is. I just know he's supposed to be really good. At the time, no lie, I really, really loved and wanted the opportunity to draft Ja Morant. I didn't think there was a chance in the world that we were going to have an opportunity to get Zion. So in my head, I was like, hey, I hope Ja slips. Maybe he's 4, maybe he's 3. If we can get up to one of those spots. So I was like, man, like that would be really cool. And then we ended up 1. And I was like, holy shit.
Once we won the lottery, like they started having the reports that we were trying to also get 2. Because didn't we have 4 also? I think we had 1 and 4. We traded 4 back. We traded 4 for like 10 and something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
At like 10.
That's what it was.
Like we traded for 8 and 14, something like that. Some combination of the 2, and took Jackson the Keel. But we had 4, and I remember him saying, like we were trying to get up to 2 and take both of them.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because that's why I was thinking that, because the Pelicans pick was actually 4. The pick that won the lottery was not the Pelicans pick.
I had gotten to the point where, I mean, obviously it would have been awesome to get 1 and 2, but I was hoping, I was like, I wasn't a big fan of RJ Barrett at the time, but I was hoping that we would take Garland at 4.
Yeah.
and I think I don't remember who went at 4.
I'd have to look. I mean, I
But
could pull it up easy, but it
I
doesn't matter.
thought we needed a point. I thought we needed a point guard, which is why I wanted Ja after Zion, obviously. And then I just wanted Garland really bad. He reminded me. I think he reminded me so much of like Dame.
I did like Garland. I mean, he's played well. He's obviously not Dame, but I mean, he's played well. But no, I thought that was an exciting like story to share, especially heading into the season. I mean, it's exciting. NFL is not that exciting right now for me. And it still is, but like, just a poor week. Also, I don't know if you saw, did you see the top 100 come out for NBA?
I didn't look too much. I didn't look at it too much. I saw, I saw that Herb wasn't in there. I saw they had Lonzo ahead of some people. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I've avoided those things. The NFL one, I used to watch it like as it would come out every week. I used to watch the NFL one. And then it just like you notice it's just like ridiculous. Yeah. So now it just kind of pops up. I don't even know when it's happening. Except one night I'll be on Twitter and it's like, oh, top 100's starting to come out. This Saints player is about 20 spots lower than he should be.
Right. Marshawn. I don't even remember what Marshawn's number was, but I'm pretty sure
we only had like 3 of them this year.
Yeah. Marshawn showed this weekend like that he should have been a lot higher than where the fuck they rated him. But no, I was asking. I mean, I don't put a lot of stock into it. I was going to ask how much stock you put into it, and then also on top of that, they did throw 3 Pelicans in the top 100, which I guess top 100 for NBA isn't as like.
Was it CJ, Zion, and
BI? Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because CJ and Zion both dropped about 20 slots from last year.
I see people talking about how Herb was left out.
Yeah, when those things come up, right? When whether it's top 100, top 5 greatest of all time, whatever it is, whenever somebody's left out, I always like take a look at the list and I always ask like, who would you take out to put him in? I did look at the top 100 to see who I would take out. There was like 15 names I could have took.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd imagine he should be in there, but if they only put those 3 in there, I think JV is a pretty big person to be.
No. Jonas is in there too.
I was about to say if
he's like 84.
I was about to say if he's not in there, that's I'd have him. I mean, Herb probably in there too, but JV should definitely be in there.
Yeah, no, he's in there. He's like 84. I thought he should have been a little higher.
How many teams have 4 players?
I know the Bulls do because when I was looking up the article, the Bulls thing was the first thing that came up, and it said that the Bulls had 4 in. I don't know who else does, but anyways, you guys can look it up for yourself. It's fine. But no, I just figured I'd bring that up. We can move on. There's a burning topic. Been eating away from me or at me for 2 days, I guess. 2 days. There's so many things that go into it. I don't even know where to start or where to unpack the Saints game from over the weekend. But I guess I can just ask you your thoughts, your feelings, maybe your takeaway from the game, and then I can dive in and I'm sure the subject will go somewhere.
Well, start positive.
Okay.
It was great to see the defense back. I saw some people complaining a little bit about the defense. Then I'm not complaining one bit. You hold Tom Brady to 3 points for a half, and for 3 quarters, he did nothing. So number one, great to see the defense back. The biggest question or mark for me still is the pass rush on defense. Now I saw Nick posted some stuff about Tom gets rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds, so they're not getting home for that reason. So I'll give him a little bit of a pass. But in the past, it seems like we were able to get, like in past games, it seems like we get to him a little more than what we did this game.
Yeah.
And even last week, maybe it was the rushing quarterback, the mobile quarterback factor that we didn't get to Mariota as much. But I don't know, last year we started off slow with pass rush too, so I'm not concerned about it. But I guess if there's a question on defense right now, that's it.
I think it's natural for it to be a question, but I'm also not really concerned about it. I think that the game plan was working. Mm-hmm. He was getting rid of the ball quick, but they weren't even getting first downs. Right. I mean, and you say that, he did end up scoring or having a better drive near the end of the game. But, yeah, that was right after Marshawn was ejected, and they purposely sought out Kenneth Lamar Williams.
Almost tweeted as soon as that happened. Thanks a lot, Kenneth.
No.
But he had all day to throw that ball, too, so I don't even put that on PJ.
True, he did, which I guess goes back to your pass rush thing. But I don't know. A lot of takeaways. The defense is not a major concern.
It was the most important thing for me was that the run defense was back.
Yeah.
It looked good I think we kind of talked about it last week that having the mobile quarterback kind of throws it off a little bit.
Yeah.
But and we just thought that we played kind of soft.
I thought we could have
at least compared to the Falcons because they came out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could have overlooked the Falcons. Looking back, like they probably looked at the Falcons like, oh, this team's not supposed to go anywhere. We should beat this team. Well, we did. We did beat them, but we barely beat them. And it took a miraculous fourth quarter by famous Jameis to make that happen. But not worried about the run defense. Not worried about the defense. I do want to preface with a lot of these conversations, which I was saying this a lot after week 1. I don't know if I said it a lot on the podcast, but right now it's week 2. It's week 2. It's a long season, right? Now a lot can change in 1 week,
right?
Good and bad.
Yeah. But with that being said, there is still some reasons for concern.
Yeah,
like you don't hit I don't think you hit the panic button after week 2. But, you just go so good news, defense was great. Bad news, I still don't know what the hell is going on with this offense.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get at. That's why I wanted to preface before we dove into it because I don't want to be – when you have these conversations and you say the things I'm probably about to say, like it sounds like you're hitting a panic button or you're sounding the alarms or you're talking poorly about someone and you think you need to throw in the towel on them, which everybody knows who I'm talking about. So I wanted to preface that and say it's week 2, right? Like a lot can change. People could still be getting their shit together, for no better terms. Our dogs are off camera making out. That's what he's looking at. But no, so let's just address the elephant in the room, though. You said something's wrong with the offense. I have my idea of what that is, and I know it's not one thing, but I know that there's one thing that I can point to. What do you think is wrong, though?
Nothing feels in sync right now. And so last week I didn't think it was so I'll say this week I think it's more Jameis than it was last week.
Yeah.
So I was being at the game, you get that bird's eye view the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing people open and he's not pulling the trigger. The one where he's got the first down and could have ran forward and he's pump faking 15 times and then gets hit and fumbles the ball. Wide open. He'd have ran for 10 yards. For me, it's something in his head feels off. I don't know, and I don't know if they say he was healthy enough to play, and I want to say that I don't like the people getting on there and saying, "Oh, he played hurt." To me, if you're healthy enough to be out there, then you're open to the same criticism as if you were not hurt.
I agree.
If you think if you're out there and you continue to play, then you getting all the same criticism.
Yeah.
I was watching, listening to Deuce. He said he thought the injury affected him, that he wasn't throwing with his whole body like he normally does. I don't know. Something with him is off, and I just think that if his mental is off, that's just as bad as him being hurt,
right? And
his physical ability being off.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't hear that from Deuce, but as soon as you said it, I was like, okay, well, how does that affect his brain? Because to me, his probably he had some balls sail on him. He had some throws that you questioned that were just overthrows or underthrows or just off target. But that wasn't the worst thing that happened, right? The worst thing that happened was he seemed to lock in on receivers. He seemed to second guess passes. It seemed like he was predetermining everything he did, and he had 1 or 2 reads, and that was it. And if it wasn't there, it was either forced or maybe he checked it down eventually if he had enough time. And
he's got to learn to take these checkdowns, man. He doesn't see the middle of the field. Somebody put out a thread, I don't know who it was, but somebody put out a thread on Twitter of now it's kind of bad angles because it's not the all 22 shots where you see the whole defense.
Right.
But you get a glimpse of what's happening, and you got Mike running open in the middle of the field with nobody within 3 or 4 yards of him. Troutman's open in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up that he doesn't have a single target yet.
He doesn't. I was going to bring that up.
And I saw like the first comment was that you have a quarterback that doesn't look at the middle of the field.
Right.
Which is true. And I think that's part of the reason why Alvin doesn't get his touches or his catches with him. Because how many times we used to see Alvin just go right through the line, 3-4 yards, turn around, wait for Drew to check down the ball.
Yeah.
Now I've seen him hit like the little swing passes as a check down a couple of times, but even that, he doesn't do it.
No, I agree.
He doesn't take the rhythm throws, and that's my biggest issue with him right now, is that I feel like he thinks he needs that big play, especially when we get down.
Yeah, no, I think that I totally agree. That last part you said too, especially when we get down. You look at him, and it's almost like you saw this last year too. And there's a lot of people out there that will deny it, and they'll be like, "No, look at his numbers from last year." I don't give a shit what you say about his numbers from last year. Look at his yardage from last year, and go watch the games he played in last year. Mentally, he was second guessing everything last year too. In this game against the Bucs, it was like he was second guessing, and then all of a sudden the fight breaks out, they score, and he's like, "Oh shit, I got to make a play." Yeah. And then from there, that's when you saw pick, because he's just like trying to force it. And to me, all of that screams like just mental problems. Like he's overthinking or whatever it is, and he's just not comfortable. And I don't know how you coach that. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know what you do. And it leads me to another problem, maybe. He's injured, right? We talked about that. I think he knows mentally, like, this is his last chance in a sense.
I was going to say, I saw somebody say that on Twitter. It might have been you.
Yeah, like if he's injured and then he sits down because he's injured, which may be the right thing to do, and then say Andy Dalton comes in and plays well or plays mediocre or whatever, and then he just say Jameis can't finish the season. He's on a 1-year deal, right? Or is he a 2-year deal?
I think it's
2-year deal. But either way, like if he doesn't play, he can't prove himself. So in his head, he's probably like, I gotta play. So he's playing through this injury. He's playing poorly. I think he's in just like he feels like he's between a rock and a hard place. Not to overanalyze his psychoanalyze or whatever. I just think it's a very weird mental situation, and I have no idea how to fix it. Yeah. And I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned. Not giving up on him yet, but I mean,
wait, let me ask you this. We'll make it a little light. Might be controversial. I guess my cousin, I'll call him, tweeted out earlier. The guy that looks like he throws the football like a 6A high school quarterback is 6'2", or they're 6-2 with this team overall. I don't want to say his name because I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. But like, how far are you willing to go? Is the question. Like, if Jameis can't turn it around, when do you pull the plug? If you pull the plug, are you ever looking that route? Do you want to just give him the whole season and hope for the best? Like, where are you at?
No, man, the team is. We got all this young talent that we've already wasted for years. I don't want to say wasted because we've had some bad breaks and, things like that. But, no, man, you got for me, he's got 2 more weeks, tops.
You think so? 2 weeks, that's it?
I mean, think about it. If he looks bad next week, you go down.
Panthers.
You go down 1-2, and we remember what happened the first time we played the Panthers last year.
Yeah,
they beat him up. He's been sacked 10 times in 2 weeks, and
with a broken back or with whatever you want to say.
And what makes it worse is you lost. You got 3 division games from the beginning. Luckily, you stole one from Atlanta. You already dropped 1 to Tampa. If you lose next week, you drop another 1 to Carolina. These are games that matter. The next one's the Vikings. That's an NFC game, and somebody you're going to be fighting for seeding more than likely because the NFC is not that deep. So, at the moment you're going to fight for a wild card spot just based off of how we look so far.
Right, records right now.
Right,
I get what you're saying.
So, these games, we don't have a bye week. If you had an early bye week, maybe you give them to the bye. We don't have a bye week until week 8, 10, something like that. Something crazy towards the end of the year. Might even be later than that. So it's I don't know.
I'm interested to see like how they do go about it. If like say he comes out and he plays poorly next week, if I'm Dennis Allen, do I sit him down and say, "Hey man, you're injured. We put it out that you're injured. Let's say that your back's giving you troubles. Let's sit you down." Like, how do you spin it? You know, how do you spin it to him? And then bring him back in the fold if Andy Dalton sucks. Like,
well, that's the I mean, I mean, I've always viewed Dennis Allen as somebody who like is a pretty straight shooter.
Yeah.
At least in you know, I've said I think I like him more on the microphone than Sean Payton, because Sean Payton would just bullshit around and not give you anything. Dennis Allen seems to say it like it is, and
maybe not to derail this thing, but like I feel like Dennis Allen just comes across as nicer because he talks longer with a nicer tone. He still doesn't say anything.
when like when like all off season when Mike was missing more time, Sean would have just been like, I'm not answering stuff about that. But at least Dennis would say, I think he's getting close. You know, we feel good about him being there.
Yeah.
Whatever. He would give you a little bit of a timetable. You weren't getting timetables with Sean Payton. If you ask him about injuries, he gets aggravated.
That's fair. I mean,
but
12 years of that, though.
Yeah, man. I just think the schedule we have is is brutal, and you just can't afford to drop that many games. I mean, granted, you might be able to get into the playoffs with a 9-8, whatever it is, 9-8 now, record, but
17 games.
Shit, man, I don't know. And Dalton looked good in the preseason, so it's not like Dalton looked bad.
That's my one thing. Did I say this? I don't remember if I said this last week. I've had so many conversations about this, probably with you and with other people, to where I don't remember what's on tape, what's recorded, what's not. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't think Andy Dalton is necessarily a better quarterback than Jameis. No. I just think that, like, for the way this team is built right now, if Jameis continues to look the way he does, Dalton's going to come in and look 10 times better. It's almost why, for that one game last year, Trevor Siemian looked better. You know what I mean? Because Siemian came in and he was, like, just getting it out, like hitting open guys quick. You know, he never did it again.
We're built exactly like the 49ers of the recent years with Jimmy G are. Our defense is better than theirs also. But you have such a good defense, you don't need a great quarterback to win.
Right.
Like, if you get Andy Dalton to be Andy Dalton of Cincinnati.
Oh, that's totally, that would be perfect, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he can play to that level ever again, I don't know, but
it's not like last year where you had Simeon and Taysom throwing to nobodies.
No, that's what I was going to say. The weapons we have are good enough. You don't like and I think that's another, we talked about this, that's an issue for Jameis. In his head, he's thinking all or nothing, right? He's not realizing he can check it down to Kamara, who can go 60 yards like he did against Green Bay that one time, running back and forth, or any of them. Mike Thomas is going to get you 12 yards a pop.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. They threw that deep ball to Olave, 4 times total, I think it was. The first one he threw, actually, the first 2 he threw, he was open.
Yeah.
Because they both were coming like right towards me. The first one he was open. Yeah. He had a step.
He was open most of them.
He threw Jameis threw it to the outside shoulder, and Olave had to kind of like work back, and that's why they missed on that one. The second one he just overthrew him by a couple yards, but he had the step. He was open. And the third one, the interception, was a good throw. That defender made a hell of a closeout on it. And but that one was in the double coverage. It shouldn't have been thrown. And then the fourth one, they connect on it, and that unfortunate fumble.
I learned, and I said this on Twitter, every time I watch, or not every time I watch the Saints, but every Saints season, I learn a new random rule from the playbook. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, the ball hits the ground, ground can't cause a fumble, that's our ball, cool, big play, let's move down the field. And then Greg Olsen, who was annoying me all game, is like, for fans at home wondering if the ground can cause a fumble, it can. And I'm like, since when?
In that situation where they're not touched.
What nuance are you about to hit me with? I've been taught my entire life since Pop Warner. I'm 34 years old. I've been told forever that a ground cannot cause a fumble. And now you're going to tell me it can?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I also learned a new rule that you can apparently have a personal foul if you miss a tackle. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying that. I'm not complaining about referees because
I can't.
That was a bad call, but they gave us two of them.
That whole game was so poorly officiated. Yeah. Even the ejections. Every part of that game.
I do think Mike Evans should have been ejected.
Absolutely.
But I don't understand why Marshawn wasn't ejected.
I don't either. Or if you eject Marshawn, I don't understand why Leonard Fournette's not ejected. Like if your precedent is, they escalated the situation, they put hands on one another. Okay, Fournette put hands on Marshawn, right. Then Marshawn put hands on Fournette, then Evans put hands on, you know what I mean? Like, and then everybody rolls around. So then technically eject all three of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either, and that does get me a little hot because the touchdown probably doesn't happen because they purposely went after P.J. Williams.
Yep, that was honestly the only call I had an issue with. I mean, I didn't agree with the one on Roby, but like I said, they gave us two that I was like, well, that was kind of soft.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'll let it fly.
I can't. Twitter was some national people were looking at that and calling it out, but like in my head, I was like, I watched this whole game and they called a lot of bullshit.
It is a bad call, but it was both ways. That was one of the worst officiating.
It was
games
terrible
both ways I've ever seen.
I'm not one to blame the refs. There's been like one or two times in my whole life where I was like, that seems really fishy. Why did they do that? Yeah. One was the no call, which we're not going to talk about. But yeah, I mean, it was just it was a rough game. My wife wasn't here when I was watching it, and I texted her about the fight, and then she's like, she gets home, she's like, did they win? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. She's like, what happened? I was like, it was just a weird game.
These are the ones that hurt, man. When it's one thing to just get blown out and lose, and you're like, well, fuck, write it off, whatever, on the next week. But a division game that you should have won. They should have won this game. If you hold Brady to, I mean, they scored a pick six, so they really hold Brady to what, 13 points?
Yeah.
You got to win that, especially with the weapons we have.
Absolutely.
On offense.
Absolutely. I agree.
But
any other thoughts from that game before we move on?
No. I hate Mike. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Who's your number one most hated, Saints rival, I guess, player-wise? Not team, player. You want me to tell you mine and why I'm asking you this?
You can, because there's one that jumps out, but I had a clarifying question.
So number one for me was Roddy White for the longest time.
I think we talked about this before.
Now, Mike Evans has jumped in for me. I'm over Mike Evans, man. That's soft. That's so soft. Like, I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just soft to do that.
It is. That was very soft.
And it's just it's a pattern now.
Yeah, especially considering it happened twice and that it from behind.
Yeah, it's one thing that so Carlton Davis talks mad shit. It is what it is. I hate it, but cool. Steve Smith used to do the same thing.
Right.
But they never did that.
Actually Carlton Davis, I wanted to talk about him for a second, then I'll talk about who my most hated was, and I'll tell why. A lot of people were calling out Carlton Davis for swinging at Michael Thomas.
He was swinging at the ball.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you saw the same thing.
He did. He grabs the ball with his left hand and he tries to swing.
Nobody's calling that out. And I hate it because I'm defending. I know there's a lot of animosity right now but I want to be a realist. He is pulling him up by the ball, and then swings at the ball. Yes, Michael Thomas is bent over and coming up. It looks like he swings at his head, but he's clearly swinging at the ball. Get over it, guys.
Now, after what happened, he can't do that. After the fight, you can't do that. The optics of it are terrible.
Yeah.
But no, I saw it, and I didn't even see. I had left the game after Jameis's pick because I had to go to work. If I didn't have to go to work, I'd have just hung out and watched the whole thing. But I was like, I'm not staying for this. I got to go. So I didn't see that. I didn't see Mike's touchdown. But I saw the video afterwards, and yeah.
I wasn't worried about it.
It wasn't even a thought that he swung at Mike. As soon as I saw it, I was like, he was swinging at the ball.
Yeah. But no, my most hated. So it kind of varied, right? I don't ever normally have players that I hate, to be completely honest. I used to get really annoyed by Steve Smith, just because of what you said. He would talk so much shit. Then he would play very well against us, which would aggravate the shit out of me. And then he was always involved in whatever scuffle was going on. Yeah. I mean, we used to fight with the Panthers. I know that they were never considered our main rival. We used to always have really chippy games with them. And Steve Smith was always always the
I remember
main
one
guy.
where I think it was Roman Harper hit him late
Yeah.
in the end zone with a little scuffle.
And then after him,
fisticuffs.
it was Cam.
Yeah.
Same reason, because Cam was just so good at the time, and he talked trash and he backed it up, and I hated it. But with both of those guys, even to this day, like I respected the hell out of them. Like I thought they were phenomenal players, athletes. I wish Cam wouldn't have got hurt, because I feel like he really left a lot out there as far as what he could have accomplished. But with all that being said, I don't have one now, but I do think that I don't want to say Mike Evans, because like I don't even feel like I respect him enough in the same way that I'm talking about those other guys. Like I just feel like he's kind of a bitch. He's a good player. I'm saying this. Mike
Not
Evans is
when
in
he
my
plays
face right now. I'm gonna be like, damn. All right, maybe I don't say that. But
There's two of us. I got your back.
6'4", 240 or whatever he is. Like I don't know. But no, I don't know. It may be Mike Evans just because of what just happened. I don't really respect him though. Is the thing. Like whatever.
Devin White's creeping up that list too.
Yeah, I did like that. Chris Godwin on the. Did you see that on the airplane?
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, why'd you? It's just so nice. Hey man, why'd you say that about Jameis like that? And it's like Fournette's like, hey yo, don't say anything. I'm recording. Well, Godwin was about to look like a good guy.
Man.
But no,
I don't know.
we could put a bow.
I'm over that week.
Here's
on
a
to Carolina.
fun. Yeah, we're on to Carolina. Here's a fun stat, which it's been over talked about recently. But Kirk Cousins is now 2-10 on Monday Night Football.
How about that?
You like that?
See what you did there. I have a Saints question for you that's not like game related. Just as 2 weeks into the season, give me 2-3 guys that you're surprised by or really impressed with, and then same with pretty disappointed by. Just real quick. You don't have to really go into reasoning.
No, it's fine.
We're already at like 40 minutes.
Not surprised by, or really impressed with. What was the second part of your question?
Just the opposite.
Okay. Well, I'll start with like surprised by, really impressed with. Not surprised by it, because I've talked about this a lot, even coming into the season. Pete Werner, phenomenal. There's always the discourse of like Werner versus Quan, and like, oh, we should have kept Quan. Like I said last week, don't understand that conversation. It was always Pete Werner over Quan. I still want Quan. I had a friend that made a good point though, that like Quan sucks against the run, so like you wouldn't necessarily want to play all three of them at the same time. I don't know. I wasn't thinking of that.
Warner's been like a top 3 player on the team right now.
He's phenomenal. He was good last year too. People weren't giving him credit because he was kind of in and out of the lineup.
He is all over the field. I mean, I don't understand why he comes off the field on seems like every third down play. But
yeah.
I don't know what his, maybe that's part of his weakness, but when he's that good, I want him on the field at all.
Name that stands out to me that I thought was complete shit water. Let's put it like that. Honestly, like I didn't even think he was that great of a player. I just liked him because of the stiff arm on Matt Ryan. Shy Tuttle. I feel like he's played pretty well this year.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing his name a lot. He seems to be involved in a lot of plays.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of big plays. I haven't necessarily paid attention to him, but it feels like he's standing out a lot, on that defense. So that's another one that impresses me. I think the easy out, saying who's not impressing me is right now is Jameis, which it's frustrating because I really, really want him to. We've talked about this openly that like I said, I'd run through a brick wall for the guy. Like personality-wise,
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. I really want to root for the guy, but he's kind of so far let me down.
Peyton Turner's the reason I'm asking this question.
Yeah, I was trying to think of
I
that.
wanted to see something. I mean, I don't think I had high expectations for him, but I thought we'd at least get to see something. I saw, somebody on Twitter saying he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Learning from – he was drafted to be the replacement for Davenport or Cam, one or the other.
He should be on the field, though.
Right.
You don't learn by not dressing.
Exactly. He's saying he's being the backup to Cam and Davenport, and that's what he's supposed to be doing. I agree. But you're not backing up anybody when you're in street clothes.
Right.
That as a first-round pick, and he wasn't even a late first-round pick.
No, I know. But when he was picked, people kind of were like,
it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I've heard people say on other podcasts, if they had drafted him where he was supposed to be drafted in the second, third round, people would be like, all right, whatever.
yeah.
Might be a bust, who cares? But man, that's a disgrace. That's one of the worst.
It's frustrating.
It might be the worst first-round pick we've had since Stephon Anthony.
Well, I'm old, so I was going back to Jonathan Sullivan.
Well, I'm saying since.
Yeah.
But
Stephon Anthony at least gave you one good year.
You know what? I told you that in the past, and you told me no, he didn't.
Well, he didn't. He just had a lot of tackles.
We have it on tape.
Yeah. But he at least played a full season and had like 100 and something tackles, you know?
Maybe Peyton Turner eventually gets it together and plays well, but you were hoping by now he showed you something so that you could make a decision on Davenport this year. Now you almost have to pay him.
Yeah.
Unless you go out and draft somebody else. But it's like...
You don't necessarily have to pay Davenport, but I think that if he has any semblance of a decent season and stays healthy, I think then it's a difficult decision to say I don't want to sign this guy.
Yep. That's all. That's just a real quick question.
No, I like that though. One thing I want to talk about, we don't have to dive too deep into it. College football over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Tulane upset.
Hey.
Power 5 school, Kansas State.
Roll wave.
In Kansas.
Roll wave.
Yeah.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
I had an idea. So in our Discord, we were talking about the no.com brunch.
Yeah.
I want us to find a weekend where Tulane plays.
Okay.
See if we can go grab brunch before the game, and then I'll go to a Tulane game.
Hell yeah.
Because tickets are stupid cheap. So let's do, and we talked about brunch last week with you. You want to go grab brunch. I said we find a game. We go get brunch before the game. We go do some tailgating, and then I'll go to a Tulane game.
I'm in. I'm so in. I go to about probably two Tulane games a year.
I have yet to be to Yeoman.
It's a cool stadium. If it was full, it would be an amazing atmosphere. It's a nice stadium.
I mean, let them keep winning. And I think it may not be sold out, but it's going to fill up. The city flocks to teams that win.
The city does. The Tulane kids do not. They could care less about that team.
Care. They don't have to be there. But people will show up, especially if it's cheap like that.
Yeah.
That's why people were showing up to the Pelicans games last year.
Yeah.
You were getting playoff tickets for $40.
That's true. I bought so many courtside seats to the last year's game.
Right. So if they win, people will show up. It may not be sold out, but you'll get the 1 or 2 night games they get there every year. They'll show up. I'm assuming they play Houston again, maybe.
Yeah, they'll play Houston.
I don't know where, but that's usually one.
They got some big games.
Did they play ECU already? That's another one that usually
they play ECU. Good. I think in October.
I think that's the one I was looking at. Actually, I think it's like October 27th.
I have a buddy who went to ECU. He lives up in North Carolina. I think North Carolina right now. And he was actually talking about coming down. And I was like, dude, come when ECU plays. So
I think it's October 27th, which my birthday is the 25th. So
hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's October. It's October 8th.
October 8th.
Yeah,
that's
October 8th.
Birthday party.
They play Southern Miss while you're leaving. But they play Southern Miss this weekend, which should be a cool one. It's Conference USA, but like it's a former, somewhat rival.
Are they favorited?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking at them. I mean, I would assume Tulane's favorite there.
And you see, they won and they beat them, and this wasn't even like Michael Pratt's best game.
No, Michael Pratt actually did not have a great game at all.
That defense is good.
Which is funny because the defense coming into the year, I forget who did going back to the top 100 that we talked about earlier, how these systems are stupid. Mm-hmm. They put out the seeding for the defenses and what they expected them to be ranked at the end of the year, and Tulane was like dead last. And they shut down a Power 5 school.
Hey.
Shut down. Played really well.
Talk about it.
Right?
Talk about it.
I remember there's one of the defensive analysts or whatever. I found him on Twitter because somebody shared it, but he shared the post saying like, "Hey, we're supposed to be one of the worst schools or whatever," and he just put some sipping tea emoji or some shit like that.
I hope they keep it going.
Yeah, I always appreciate the petty.
3-0 since first time since '98, right?
Yeah,
I think that was their undefeated season.
Yeah. Yeah, beat a Power 5 school for the first time in Willie Fritz's.
Speaking of that season, last week when we talked about the playoff expansion,
mm-hmm.
if it had been in place that year, Tulane would have been a playoff team.
Yeah.
They finished, I think, 12th in the country.
Yeah.
They would have been a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason that I wanted to bring up to say schools like that might get a playoff opportunity.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's exciting, but it goes back to
not to go
saying,
back into that conversation because, like we said, I still don't think it matters.
Right.
But just the idea that a school like Tulane could get in.
I think it's I mean, it's still cool for them to get in and have that experience, but I also think a part of it is like UCF not too long ago, right? Like they go undefeated, they win their conference, or when they win their bowl game that they're in, and then they claim that they're national champions. Like that's more fun than them getting their brains kicked in by Alabama in week 2 of the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, right. Congrats, you went undefeated, but then you lost 45-7 to an SEC school.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have to dive deeper into that. I'm just saying.
It was something I wanted to say last week, but I forgot. I forgot to bring it up.
No, it's cool. And it'll be cool for fans and stuff like that, especially if they do the home games like you were talking about. I think that'd be exciting. Shoot, I lost my train of Miami lost. You want to glaze over that? Or you want to talk about that?
I don't know. It's kind of similar to the Saints, where it's like they had it's actually a little different because we weren't expected to win that game. I guess the Saints weren't expected to win either, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We expected the Saints to win.
I've said since the beginning of the year when they put the schedule out, I expected to get blown out in that game because Miami has in the last, since 2002 or whatever it was, they get blown out by the SEC teams, or the big schools, no matter how good they are. Which Texas A&M is not a good team.
Weren't they coming off a loss?
But now they have one of the most talented rosters in all of college football. They have a top 10 recruiting class in each of the last 5 years, and I think 3 of them are top 5.
Yeah.
With this year's being the number 1 overall recruiting class. So that's a talent. The talent difference between them and Miami is huge.
Yeah.
Miami hasn't had a top 15 class since like 2018,
which I don't get. I don't understand how Miami.
Well, when you're just bad on the field, man, it's like, and we had people that couldn't recruit, like didn't care much about recruiting.
Yeah.
It's just
I kind of lump. I think this came up too last week. I kind of lump Miami and USC into the same category, where it's like these two schools that, like recruiting wise, the mystique and all that, like it's there. Like they should be able to get some of these recruits, and it's just for whatever reason they don't.
Yeah, but no, I'm surprised it was that close, and I tried not to be upset that we didn't win because I didn't expect to win. But it's tough when the game felt winnable, and we beat them in almost every stat, almost every single one. It wasn't even close, and just couldn't get in the end zone.
Yeah,
so
that's tough.
It's frustrating, but easy schedule the rest of the way.
What are your expectations for the year?
9 wins tops. Best case scenario, 9 wins, which probably gets you in the ACC championship because it's the ACC.
Yeah.
But I think we play Clemson, so that's the next big game. Florida State always. Florida State has looked okay, but their quarterback got hurt, so I don't know.
Yeah. He was good, man. He looked good.
Yeah. But then you play Clemson. So that's the next one I'm looking forward to see if another one I'm expecting to get blown out in. But I'd like to see him at least put up a fight. That's my whole expectation for this year is just look prepared.
You got to fight.
In a game. Yeah, you got to fight. But no, it's embarrassing for them to get, every time they get on national TV, to just get blown out. So as long as they look prepared, I'm happy this year.
How much? Where are we on time? There's so many things I wrote down.
40 minutes.
Yeah,
we got time. We probably got a really short one next week, so
that's fair. LSU won. They looked like a good team.
I didn't watch.
Surprised me. That's fair. You didn't have to watch.
I'll be honest. I never watch.
I do watch, actually.
The big ones I'll watch. I watched Florida State. Number one, because it's Florida State and it matters to me as a Miami fan.
Yeah.
I watch LSU Bama every year.
It's fucking dogs. I don't know if you guys notice this or hear it.
I'll watch LSU Florida. All their big games I'll watch, but
I find myself I don't watch intently, but normally like I think I put it on. It was a day of football, right? Like I watched Tulane ended. I put LSU on. I think I walked outside. I went and did some stuff. We took a walk. I think I went to the store, but it was just on. And I was doing stuff around the house, and I hear them playing well. I glance at the TV, but from what I watched, they look good. I mean, they won handedly.
Yeah.
They
didn't end up ranked, did they?
I don't know. I didn't think they were gonna. I saw that there was a conversation I was in on Twitter.
That's why
I didn't look at the
asking.
rankings.
They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. I didn't think that they should be. I mean, you lose to an unranked team, and then you beat a SWAC team, and then you come back and you beat a team that I don't know, like
they got to be close to being ranked. You win another one or once they get into that SEC schedule.
That was kind of my argument. I didn't think that the argument was that like if they won by 2 scores, then they should be ranked. My argument was no matter how much they won by, it didn't matter. They were going to need to win one more game before before they're ranked. And then I think that it's okay for them to really jump 6 teams on that list. Like you don't have to bring them in at 25.
These rankings this year have been crazy. Like Florida was unranked. They won that first week, jumped all the way to like 12.
Yeah.
Then they lose, and then they're out of the top 25. Like it's Miami was 12 or something like that. Lost to granted Texas A&M is unranked, but you barely lose to them. They fall 13 spots to 25.
I think it's because didn't A&M just lose to Appalachian State?
Yeah, but Appalachian State is 3-0.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I know it's Appalachian State, but they
Are
look.
they 3-0? I thought they were 2-1.
No, I thought they won all 3.
2-1, man.
All right, you might be right. I don't know. But
also, what a school, man! Appalachian State. Like just thinking back in history, right? Like they are. If I think of any school that is known for upsetting big time programs, it's Appalachian State.
That's like the first college upset that comes to mind is them against Michigan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, and they weren't even a Division I school at that time, were they? Like they were just.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Whatever. That's hilarious. Yeah, go Appalachian State. Are the Bills unstoppable? Let's move on back to the NFL.
Dude, I think so.
I know we both have them winning the Super Bowl. We both have Josh Allen winning MVP.
They just dog walked the defending Super Bowl champions, the number 1 seed in the AFC from last year. Granted, Tennessee is not what they were at all, but
something's going on there. They haven't been able to run the ball. I don't know if Henry's still like not healthy. Yeah.
I mean, you take A.J. Brown away from him. You give him Robert Woods and Treylon Burks, who I don't think is that great. It's just, I don't know. At some point, all them carries are going to catch up to Derrick Henry. And at the end of the day, Tannehill is Tannehill. He's not anything great. He's not terrible.
Yeah, I think if you give him a good supporting cast, he looks okay. But, now he's back in an offense without any weapons. Well,
I think
some weapons.
I think it's the Bills, man. You won't know until they play, and I don't even know if they play the Chargers or the Chiefs in the regular season. I would assume they play at least one of them.
I don't know. I could look at their schedule, but you know who they do play next week?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Both undefeated. Dolphins look magical right now. That offense looks really good. The defense is supposed to be good. But
they're in the same boat as the Saints, where for a few quarters they look terrible, and then Tua all of a sudden turns it on.
That man threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Also, I saw something else on Twitter.
He also threw 2 interceptions.
He did. Whatever. He threw 6 touchdowns. Yeah. I think that's another place where you and I somewhat disagree in areas like the turnover thing. If a quarterback is throwing 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, and they throw 2-3 interceptions, I don't care.
It depends on the interceptions to me. How egregious they are.
That's fair. There's timely interceptions.
Which, to be fair, really I wasn't even trying to take a shot at Tua. He just because I didn't watch the whole game. I just saw the highlights of them coming back. So, but no, that's if he's on. That's got to be one of the most dangerous offenses.
For sure.
And they haven't even really gotten their running game going yet. But those two receivers together are so fun.
I saw it was on Twitter. Somebody took the highlights
and made him righty.
Dude, he looks good. Because like left-handed, I'm like, ooh, like every throw he throws, I'm like, man, his arm. I don't know. I was questioning it all the time.
I saw that. I wanted to ask if you saw that.
Yeah, dude. And I see him flipping around and turning righty. I'm like, damn, he's got some zip on those balls. Like, I'm like, all right. It's funny like how the just lefties are looked at as like. I don't know. It's just so unnatural to me to see a left-handed quarterback. Steve Young, Mike Vick are really the only 2 that come to mind that like were actually solid. Everybody else is just like it's awkward.
Do you have a favorite thing from the NFL this weekend? Favorite thing that happened?
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle has the best touchdown celebration.
Yeah. But he's been doing it for like 2 seasons now.
But I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, favorite thing.
I do have a favorite thing, and I'm going to take it outside of that game. I'm going to go to the Cardinals game. My favorite thing was just watching Kyler Murray run around like a toddler with somebody's cell phone. Like,
that throw he made.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That was one of the best throws I've ever seen.
I don't know how it got through.
No, I have no idea. My favorite thing was the Broncos fans counting down the play clock while the Broncos were on offense.
That's such a tough situation. Russell Wilson does not look good. He does not look comfortable. That offense does not look good. I had way higher expectations for that offense.
Yeah, and speaking of that, something else I have like in my in my weekly thing for this week, this obsession that teams have with being on the goal line and getting in the shotgun.
I hate it.
What is this? What are we doing? What are we doing? I swear to God.
I think it's becoming a theme, and it's funny to me because like I don't understand how coaches don't. I don't know if they're overthinking things or what, but like I was saying it last week. I forget what happened, but I was saying it on the goal line.
It was the Broncos not giving it to Javonte Williams
or
Melvin Gordon.
I'm watching Monday Night Football with a friend of mine at their house, and I'm like, I don't understand why they're lining up in this formation on whatever and one. Like, it doesn't make any sense on the goal line.
Yeah.
Whatever it
is.
And
we gave, Pete Carmichael shit for doing a direct snap to Ingram, but I would take that over that stupid shotgun.
Absolutely.
I don't do what are we doing?
I don't get it.
Especially when you got somebody built like Javonte Williams.
Well, it's funny because I was saying that, and then like I feel like this is becoming a theme, and then I'm watching the Tulane Kansas State game, and the announcers the whole game are just dog walking Kansas State because they keep lining up in shotgun.
Well, in college, it's rare to see quarterbacks get under center.
Yeah, but their quarterback, I forget where he transferred. Nebraska. He transferred from Nebraska. But he's good. Like he's supposedly a really good quarterback, and he's a really good running quarterback. Mm-hmm. And earlier in the game, they had done a quarterback sneak, and it worked flawlessly. Like he got like 4 yards on it. And every time they got in 4th and 1, they're like, yeah, we should expect a quarterback sneak here. And then they started coming out in fucking shotgun. And the announcers are losing their mind. And then Willie Fritz goes and seals the game on 4th and 1 with a quarterback sneak as opposed to running a shotgun whatever.
That continues to blow my mind. And I know Ethan keeps talking about it too. Like all of us are like, what are we doing here?
I don't get it.
Get under center and hand the ball. And it's something else I keep seeing people bring up. Why are the Saints and Drew the only ones to ever run that leap over the top? Why does nobody else run that?
That only works on the goal line.
That's what I'm saying. You see him get to the goal line. Now Brady does his QB sneak. He's one of the best ever to just do a normal QB sneak. But that play, I don't think I ever saw that play not work. Maybe once.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen it not work.
It has to be on the goal line. Yeah. I hated when they did it in midfield because it gets tricky.
I didn't understand it because you don't get forward motion there in midfield. Like it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. The rules don't work the same way.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, in the goal line, it's as easy as jump, boom,
break the plane, boom, done, touchdown.
And I don't understand why teams don't do it more.
I don't either.
Drew was a very athletic person, which some people I guess might not know outside of like Saints fans. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's not a mobile quarterback by any means, but he's athletic.
Right.
But
he wasn't like
I want to say he was able to, in his prime. I want to say he was able to dunk a basketball.
He was.
So
he used to dunk over the goalpost.
Yeah. So that's true. Yeah.
Which is the same height.
Yeah.
In case you guys didn't know.
Actually thicker. Yeah.
Just saying. Love a good thick goalpost.
So
where the fuck did that come from? Yeah. Let's get into top 5.
Probably gonna fly through this top 5.
You think so? Because I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to say. We didn't have it. So just to give you guys some background here, we did not have a top 5 because we're doing this podcast so much earlier this week. I was playing basketball. I came home, had to get the kid to bed. He comes over, and we're just setting up. And I'm like, we didn't even pick a top 5 this week.
I didn't even think. Honestly, I told you I had no topics to talk about because some like behind the scenes, I guess. We aim for, I think Thursday is usually the day we aim for.
Yeah.
And, Wednesday, Thursday is usually the earliest we try to do it. And it's just from the day we finish recording to like the next 3 or 4 days, we're editing, we're making clips. So like we're still focused on the previous pod for at least 2 or 3 days afterwards.
Yeah.
Or at least I am.
No, it's true. It's true.
You're doing all the graphics and everything, so we don't even think about the next pod until 3 days later. So this one, I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I've gotten in a habit where like I just write down random topics on my phone that come up, and I'm like, oh, we can talk about that. Oh, we can talk about that. But no, top 5 this week. We're gonna do most aggravating things your dogs can do. No, I'm just playing. They just all night over here sneezing and biting each other, and they're gorgeous. I love them. Jackson and Toulouse, in case you guys didn't know. Now my lovely wife is letting them inside. Perfect timing. Top 5 this week. He's going to Disney. I'm actually going to Disney with my wife and my daughter. My son can't make it, but going in a month, 2 months, something like that. So I figured we could just talk about the top 5 things we're excited about or most excited about to do on our Disney vacation.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I threw this together, and I'm sure I'm going to miss out on some stuff, but
I didn't even write anything down.
Whatever.
Going off the dome. You go for it. Start with your 5th one. Tell me why.
So, number 5, some of them are kind of generic, but I just have Disney Springs. I love Disney Springs. And I mean, maybe everybody does this, but when I book my Disney trip, I try to at least give me the opportunity to go to Disney Springs twice.
Yeah.
I think Disney Springs has the best restaurants. No, I will say I haven't eaten at too many of the restaurants in the parks, but a lot of it's just like that quick service stuff. Now there's like Epcot has some good ones. Epcot's got really good restaurants. But I think the variety of the restaurants at Disney Springs are my favorite. They got the bar, they got drinks, got a house. We went to Orlando, me and my buddies, just for a weekend. We did like 3 days in Miami, drove up to Orlando, spent 2 days there, came home. And we went to the House of Blues in Disney Springs one night. Like, just went out in Disney Springs.
Yeah.
I just love Disney Springs. Something about the vibe of it.
It's fun.
It's cool. There's so much. Last year we went in December. Went to Orlando for a weekend, and we just did a night there. Everything was Christmas decorated. They had the bands playing and everything.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And I feel like every time I go, there's some major change to it. So there's something new.
Yeah. They do change it up a lot. I do like Disney Springs a lot, which will lead me into my number 5, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. I like it a lot for what you said, though, right? Like, a lot of people think of Disney as this, like, kid world, you know, where only kids are going to have a good time. Disney Springs does a great job of always having, like, live music,
right? All
these bars and, like, clubs. There's even clubs out there.
They got that bowling place. Phenomenal
restaurants. Cool. Yeah, the bowling place is cool. Phenomenal restaurants. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You hit it on the head. There's a lot of really good restaurants out there.
We ate at when we went for our honeymoon. I think we did the Boathouse.
Yeah,
it's cool. My favorite place is the pub, that Irish pub they got.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm a big beer guy, so I go there and I just get like 3 or 4 flights. We just keep them coming.
Yeah, it's really cool during the day too, or even at night. But they'll have somebody like sit outside with their guitar, like a band.
Right,
and
that's
like,
the thing. It's day
jam.
or night. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's pretty chill. I do really like Disney Springs, especially because lets my wife shop. She loves to shop.
Yep.
I like to eat and drink.
Yep.
Just kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yep.
That's my bag. I'm not gonna go with like generic overall Disney Springs. I'm probably gonna pick random things. You'll find the theme to mine as I started thinking of stuff is food and alcohol. I'm gonna start with number 5. The 5th most exciting thing I'm looking forward to, or however you want to say that, is gonna be Gideon's Bakehouse. I don't know if you've been there yet. It's rather new. I think it's been there a couple years.
In Disney Springs.
It's in Disney Springs. Their cookies are massive. So you're a big crumble cookie guy.
I went today.
Go to Gideon's.
Okay.
I don't remember their line is absurd. So like I don't know if there's a queue or how you get in. I can't remember. When we went out there for the hurricane, I was fortunate enough we were there for 2 weeks, which I don't know how fortunate you want to say that is, but I went on like a Tuesday randomly when they first opened because I had nothing to do. And I got a bunch of cookies, but dude, they're phenomenal. They have really good coffee too, like treat specialty coffee. Like you'll
speaking my
like
language,
it.
buddy.
You'll like
you see
it a
the
lot.
key to this trip for me. So we took my son last year for one day. Went to Magic Kingdom as like a test run at the end of the year, and as soon once it was good, we booked this full trip. Bringing my mom, who spoils my son.
There you go.
Like crazy.
That's gonna be great.
We're also bringing my grandma, who spoils me. So the key to this trip for me is to spend as little money as possible and just get them to buy me everything.
That'll be good.
So I'm going to get my mom to treat me to some cookies. I'm going to tell her my son wants some cookies.
Do it. I'm telling you, they're phenomenal.
I'm going to do it.
They're really good. You're going to like it.
I'm going to forget the name of the place, though, so I'm going to text you before I leave.
It's Gideon's Bakehouse. It's like
when you send me the picture of the Mickey ears your wife wants, I'll ask you the name of the place.
We can do that.
That's it? That's all you got for that one?
Yeah, that's my number 5.
All right. My number 4, the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Okay.
I haven't done it. Obviously, it's pretty new.
Yeah.
So super excited to try that out because everybody keeps raving to it about me.
Yeah.
It's one of them ones that are kind of difficult to get, like that Star Wars ride where you got to get in the queue and all that stuff. So I don't know. Just excited to do that. Also, we're coming up with this somewhat on the fly. So
no, it's fine. Mine's on the fly too. As I'm thinking through things here, I'm like, I don't have a 3 and a 2. How can I put this 4? And then
yeah, I may have as you talk. I might come up with some other ones where we talk about them afterwards. But
yeah, that's fine. I think so. Since we'll just breeze through this. Number 4 from me. Going back to the food theme here, food and drink thing here, is going to be Trader Sam's Grotto. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's at the Polynesian Resort. It's like a little bar downstairs. They've got really cool themed drinks. A lot of like rum. It's like a tiki bar type thing. But it's like dark, like mysterious. They do like these over the top presentations when you order certain drinks. They like play music and like it's kind of cool. Super vibey, like tiki vibe. But it's cool. I like it a lot. So that'll be number 4 for me.
That's what I need to do. I need to hop around to the resorts a little bit more.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
What resort are you all
We're
staying
saying just the movie one, whatever the generic little movie one is. For our honeymoon, we stayed at Caribbean, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, the little beachy vibe.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I used to work at Pop Century, which was a lot of people love that one. It's one of the cheaper ones, but a lot of people love it just for the theming. What you got?
Number 3 for me is we kind of talked about at the beginning, doing all the Halloween stuff. So all these Halloween treats I keep seeing, like the special Halloween treats that they do.
Yeah.
Really just the whole Halloween thing in general. I'm excited to do that because I've never done it before. And I'm just excited to try all this shit that I've never done. I've been to Disney a good amount of times now, so it's kind of wearing off on me, I guess. But this is the first time I'm doing this, so
yeah,
the Halloween stuff I'm pretty excited about.
That should be pretty cool.
I got to do a better. I got to like get online and look at like a list of, cause they got them Disney blogs all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna get on there before we leave. Maybe read them while we're driving.
Yeah.
And,
listen, you ask anybody who's a Disney World person like what to do in Disney World, they're gonna give you 7 days worth of shit to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that guy. Don't ask me because like I'm like, dude, just figure it out. You'll be fine. Do what you like to do. That's the main advice I can give you. Don't do what other people want to do. Anyways, number 3 for me. There's one place in particular, but I'm gonna go overall encompassing. Is gonna be like all the character breakfasts with my daughter. Just because I know, I've done some with her in the past. I did some with my son when he was younger. And it's always like just super cool to watch your child just get over the top excited for these random characters.
We're doing one at Chef Mickey's one day.
That'll be cool.
It'll be his first one. So yeah.
Chef Mickey's is like a classic. It's a goodie. I mean, you got,
We have 9 people with us, so it was really hard to get.
That is
actually
tough.
I could only book it for 5. So I had to like pick and choose who's coming with us, but
sorry, you're out.
Yeah.
Make the cut.
We got my little brother and sister coming, so I'm taking like me, my wife, and them 2, and my son.
The place I'm most excited about is Topolino's, which is like a new place.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly the breakfast there is really cool. Can't remember the characters off the top of my head, but I think it's like some of the classic characters, which she's into a lot of the classic characters these days. So, yeah.
Well, you said your daughter's reaction. My number 2 is seeing my son's reaction to Toy Story Land for the first time.
Yeah.
So Toy Story is my all-time favorite movie, not Disney movie. All-time favorite movie, Toy Story. I love it.
Phenomenal.
I love it. It's my favorite. I'm telling you, it's my favorite movie. My son's room is decorated like Andy's room from Toy Story. We got the clouds on the wall. I hand drew the pictures, the little drawings that Andy had on his thing. I hand drew them. They're on the wall. I don't have a picture, but yes. Yeah, so, and it took him a little while to get into Toy Story. I forced it on him, but now he loves it. So he loves Buzz and Woody. So we're going to go to Toy Story Land, and he's going to get to see them. I'm hoping that they're out when we go, and he actually can, run into them. But I'm excited to see his reaction to that because it's something that because me and my grandma's coming with us, and like her and I, when I was growing up, would watch Toy Story like every day.
Yeah.
So she'll be there with me, and then It'll be her first time seeing it. I'll be there with him, his first time seeing it. So
that's really exciting. No, that's cool. I love that you forced it on him. That's my favorite part of that whole story.
You will love this movie.
We went last year while we were there for the hurricane, and my daughter, I didn't even know that she knew what Toy Story was, and she's walking past like the beginning of the land, and like Woody's not the actual character Woody, but like there's like a big Woody statue there, and she's like, Woody, and I'm like, what do you mean? How do you know who that is? Or maybe it's 2 years ago, maybe it wasn't for the hurricane. She was young. She kept saying it, and I was like, wow, okay. And then she ended up loving Toy Story, so also excited about that.
Do you have all-time favorite Disney movie?
I do. Mary Poppins.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a sleeper pick. That would, if you'd have gave me 10 guesses, it wouldn't have been in my top 10 guesses.
Who's my number 2? You want to guess my number 2? You won't guess that either?
Animated or non-animated?
Well, I guess both, but it's animated.
Lion King.
No.
See, that would have been my number 1 guess for you.
It's a good one. No, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Okay, I can live with that. I'm actually very excited about the live-action Peter Pan. I'm not a huge fan of these live-action movies, but when I saw that was one that I thought I'd be a fan of. The new one they got coming. Yeah. I think I'm going to like that.
Yeah, I'm always excited about it. As a kid, I think that I actually fell more for like Hook, which wasn't necessarily like Disney. Mm-hmm. I think it is now. I don't know what the hell Disney owns anymore. They own everything.
Shit, they got the Avengers now, which is
they own everything.
Yeah.
They own parts of like things that are in Universal. Like I have no idea how this stuff works anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, my second favorite movie is Lion King.
It's a good one.
Which, have you ever seen the Broadway version of that?
Yes, I have. I fell asleep on it.
What?
Yeah, my wife hated me for it. It was like our first big date.
Dude, that was one of the best things I've ever seen, is the Broadway version of Lion King. And they're coming back at the end of October, and I want to go again. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done.
My wife would probably love to go.
Double date
if I
time.
Can stay awake through it if you want.
My wife can't drink for it, so that kind of sucks.
Well, she doesn't really drink either. So that was actually my problem. Going to the Sanger, we had like those fancy VIP tickets, and like I got one drink in the VIP lounge, and then I sat down, and it was like a long day that day. Row. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. We were like lower level. Like we had some expensive seats, but
I only paid like $70 for the tickets.
Oh, see, so did I. But like we weren't front row.
Yeah. Anyway, what am I at? You're number 2.
I'm number 2. Yeah, you've done number 2, right?
Yeah, okay. Number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is going to be, this is actually my most favorite thing to do in Disney World, and I feel it's like a low-key sleeper. Well, it's not my favorite thing. Number 1's going to be my favorite thing, but this is something you can always do. Hoop-de-doo review is my favorite thing by far to do in Disney. It's a weird country jam type stage show, which is also an all-you-can-eat sit-down dinner. It's at the Wilderness. Shit, not Wilderness. What's the campground?
I gotta go. The Wilderness.
Wilderness. Yeah.
I need to get to the resorts.
Dude, it's all you can eat, all you can drink, as much beer and wine as you want. It's fried chicken, mashed potatoes, ribs, like just country eating.
Country jamboree.
They finish with strawberry shortcake, and like it's funny. Like it's corny, but it's funny. And like they give out washboards at the end for like the kids to like play along to music. They go around, they interact with the crowd, they make fun of people in the crowd. Like it's kind of comedic. Yeah. It's fun. It's a good time. It's my favorite thing by far to do.
Speaking of making fun of people in the crowd, they got the Monsters Inc. thing in
also fun. Yeah.
We last time we went with, and my mom and my stepdad came with us. They picked them out of the crowd and they spent like 5 minutes on them. Yeah. It was awesome.
Side note, that's probably also why Hoop-de-doo is my favorite thing to do. The first time I ever went, I was one of the people, they used to select like 3 people from the audience and bring them up on stage to be a part of the show. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the people that they made be a part of the show. And they fed me lines, and they're like, okay, here's what you say in this situation. And they would purposely like set me up. So they would like tell me to say something, and then I would say my line. And then they would like make fun of me for it, because they would basically act like I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, what the But it was fun. It was a good time. Yeah. One of my favorite things to do.
My number 1, drinking around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my we like I said, we did it on our honeymoon, but we started late, and it was COVID time, so the parks were closing at like 6:00. So we ran out of time pretty quick. So we had to skip a bunch of places. Only got to do about 6 of them.
Yeah.
So
what day are you going to? Well, I hate to put all this personal information out there.
Like what day?
You don't have to tell me the date.
What day am I going to be in Epcot?
Yeah. Do you know what band is playing? Because there's a
No, we looked at you and I looked at it when we were recording in there.
We'll look at it later. I don't want to tell
it
the
wasn't,
world. What day
although
you're
I
gonna be in a
changed
certain
I
place.
changed the day, I think, from the time we looked, so we have to look again.
Okay.
No, we're going to start that day at Animal Kingdom. I think you convinced me to do that. So we're going to start that day at Animal Kingdom, knock out some stuff, and then
It's fun.
I mean, we can't park hop till like 2, so 2 o'clock we'll head over to Epcot. And
Can't think of the name of the bar. There's a cool bar in Animal Kingdom.
I think I'm going to send my wife off with my son, and my mom and I are going to go drink around the world.
Yeah, that'll be.
She doesn't know that yet, but
Hell yeah. Was there? Have you looked up anything about like drinks or anything like that? Or are you just kind of saying I'm gonna get beers from each place? What's your approach?
I think I have in my notes what I tried last time.
Okay.
From the few places I got to go. I'm definitely more of a beer guy than like a regular drink person. Now, my mom's the opposite. So I think the way we'll attack it is I'll get the beers. My mom will get what she gets. I'll try it, but then I'll drink my beers.
So I did that once with my ex-girlfriend. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get beer everywhere because like I've done liquor everywhere and I got wasted. I think beer is a better choice. So I approached it with like, I'm gonna get beer everywhere. While I was with my ex who was not drinking beer, and she got some drink from the pub you were talking about that was like, it had a 190 floater, it had all kinds of other liquor in it, and she's like, I don't like it, drink it. So like, I drank beer everywhere. I drank that. I finished with 2 shots in Mexico and a margarita. I threw up outside of it.
We only hit and I'm not a lightweight at all. Like, it takes a lot for me to get even a buzz. And I'm telling you, I think we only did like 6 of them. Now we were flying,
oh yeah, you're flying,
dude.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm just throwing them back. But like, I don't get like light beers and stuff. Like, you've seen what I drink. It's high alcohol stuff. So I'm throwing them back, and by like the 4th or 5th place, I was like, all right, we might need to wrap this one up soon.
I'm telling you, man, I
will hit every country this time. I don't care how. We're going on. We're not getting there till like 2 o'clock because we got to park hop, and you can't park hop before 2. But
so you're gonna fit all your drinking. Well,
they have the extended hours that night till 11, so I'll have 9 hours to.
You're gonna be fucking wasted.
Fucking right.
Wasted.
So that's gonna be. I want to say Monday. I don't know. I have to let you know because that's the day I want to.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. I'll get into more of that topic because my number one goes with that. My number one is Food and Wine Festival specifically.
That's going on right now too.
Yeah, obviously drinking around the world during that, but being able to sample different foods from each booth. The food.
Is that free?
No, it's not free. It's nothing in Disney is free. First of all,
I didn't think so, but you said sample. You gotta.
Well, it's because they're the size.
Listen, man, I go to Sam's on the weekends. Their samples are free as could be.
Yeah, well, these are going to be the same size, but
$10.
It's going to be like $8, $10. They're a little bigger. Like but it's definitely small, like small plate, 1 serving size. You know, like it's not very big. But no, some of the food is really good. You just got to find the right stuff. Drinking around the world while doing that. There's always some cool drinks that you can find at some of those booths that are out because booths aren't always out, obviously. My favorite thing, though, in all of Epcot is the blood orange margarita from the tequila bar inside of the Mexico Pavilion. Not outside. There's a little place outside that you can get a margarita too. Mm-hmm. No. Blood orange inside. There's also, I don't know if it's still there. They changed the menu. There was like a jalapeno something in there that was really good too. But that bar inside of the pavilion is phenomenal.
I think my favorite, I don't know what the beer was, but I think it's Germany, the first country you go to. Like if you go to the right, I think it was Germany, and they got like the real pub there. Or
that's the UK, yeah.
Whatever it is. They had some awesome beers in there. I think I ended up getting 2 or 3 of them from there. That was my favorite spot. The weirdest thing I had that I really didn't like was the frozen beer from, I think it's China. It's literally like a beer slushy. And it's not terrible, but it's just watered down
kind of weird
beer. I had to try it. I was like, a frozen beer, let me try it.
I've never tried that. No, Germany does have some good beer though. If you go into the Germany, like there's like the building you go into, they've got some good good beer.
Yeah, I'm going with the intent. I have no interest. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy is there, so I have to try that. But like I've rode test track and Soaring enough times that I don't really care. Like I'd much rather finish drinking around the world this time.
I kind of feel the same way. I'm fortunate because I'm going with, like, it's my wife and my daughter, and then also like her best friend, her maid of honor, or matron of honor. I don't remember exactly what her title was, but she was standing in our wedding, and her husband and their 2 kids are all going. But her husband plays on my basketball team, and like we're kind of close, like we're cool. So basically, my wife told me, I don't know if this is actually going to happen. You know how it goes. She's like, yeah, basically, like you 2 can just drink around the world, and we'll hang out and like take the kids around. And I was like, cool.
I say I'm gonna throw my son on my wife. She wants to. My wife's pregnant, for everybody that doesn't know, so she can't drink around the world. But she says she's gonna snack around the world. So
she can.
We're gonna have somebody.
She's gonna love it.
But somebody's got to take my son. I don't know how this is gonna work. But we talked about it. The reason we're doing Animal Kingdom now is because I don't know that there's that much for him to do in Epcot ride-wise. There's a few things, but it's probably the park with the least amount.
It is,
so
in a sense.
I think he might actually just enjoy going around, seeing all the, the bushes and stuff and the countries and everything.
Well, the good thing is there's normally shows, or some types of shows in each country, to where you can, like, if you grab your drink. I don't know if they still do it all. You got to check the calendar of it, but they used to have like the show in Canada when you'd walk in, you grab a drink, you walk to Canada, you can go to the UK and get your drink.
Canada had a good beer. Is the first one you run into.
Yeah, but you can even, and then the UK used to have like a little comedy show that was, they don't do that anymore. That was like one of my favorite things. They don't do that anymore. And then like each country has something different going on.
Yeah.
Obviously they'll have Eat to the Beat.
When we did it for our honeymoon, like I said, it was COVID time, so everything was weird. Like not everything was, I was actually pretty surprised we could just go into the bar and get stuff, but there was no like extra stuff during COVID time, so I don't know. There's a chance you'll see me at the beginning of it and get to track it as I go.
We'll see what happens.
Could get interesting.
I'm doing it too, so who knows? I'll try and follow your blueprint, and we'll just.
We might have a couple.
We'll do another one.
We might have a couple on location podcasts in the future. Maybe one when I go to Vegas.
Be like, hey guys,
that one could get a little wild. We might not be able to put that one out.
This is now officially a vacation podcast.
Right.
No longer sports oriented.
Yeah, but I'm excited to go, man.
Well, that's cool. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we got for tonight. You got anything else before we get into where they need to follow us?
Nope. I don't think so.
All right. Cool. Well, if you want to catch me on Twitter, I'm at VPattyV. V as in Victor.
I am at Rainy_days with the E as a 3.
Mm-hmm. We are everywhere, every social media platform at Who Effin' Knows, KNEAUXS, and then you can follow the we're our parent social
at Be in the Know, KNEAUX.
Yeah, we're part of the Be in the Know network. I guess that's the way I was trying to say it. I just couldn't.
Yeah, and we keep telling y'all we're gonna have some merch coming.
We do.
I'm not leaving this house tonight without us having a plan.
It's actually drafted and created, and then we look at it, and then I ask a question, and then like I don't get on and look at it. So it's me. It's me, guys. If you're waiting, it's me.
So it's coming. It is coming soon. He wants it for his trip, so
I do. Yeah,
it should be coming.
I got to rock the podcast shirt
soon.
for the trip. Yeah, that's all we got, though. If you stuck with us this long, thank you. I'm sure you'll see some clips of it.
Oh, and theknow.com.
Yes, definitely, theknow.com. You got any articles coming up?
I'm trying to find a way to do some do like a little fantasy football thing every week. Is something I'm brainstorming. I don't know how I want to do it, whether I want to do like a top performers from the week or maybe some players to watch for the week. You kind of have your thing. I know it's not the same at all, but
no, it's like a.
Mine's like a I don't know. I'm trying to find.
That did his thing.
I haven't written anything lately. Nothing's really been.
Yeah.
I had a couple things that I told you I wanted to do, and then Tom kind of passed, and now I'm like, meh. But I think I kind of want to look into that a little bit.
That's fine. Always. I like
your video version of your Patty's players, and I think I want to do a fantasy thing.
Do it
like that.
Oh yeah, do it.
So, might hit you up with some graphics.
Always looking for new things to do. That's fine. I have a new video version of the Patty's Players article that was coming out every Sunday. Still going to try and drop it every Sunday. Obviously, it has to be edited and whatnot, so maybe it comes out Monday morning from now on. I don't know. Still try and drop it every Sunday. But it'll be on, Twitter and all the other socials as a video now, so it'll be easier to consume in case you guys don't like to read. Some people don't like to read.
And lastly, something we talked about today, stay on the lookout on the YouTube page. We're going to start putting up, basically long clips of the podcast. So we'll have the full video, and then top 5 might be its own little 10-minute video or so.
We'll clip out different segments.
Trying to give y'all some more content.
Instead of chopping everything up into 2-minute videos like we're doing for Twitter, maybe we'll have some longer, 5 to 10-minute videos that actually cover a whole subject, just one at a time. We'll put them out individually.
And we're always open to suggestions if y'all have something you want to see or some ideas or whatever.
Yeah. Share, follow, subscribe. All that stuff helps us. We don't say it enough. Thank you to everybody who already has. But, we want to continue to grow this thing. So if you can share it with a friend, say, hey, check this out. Even if they don't watch us, just watch our little 1-minute videos or 2-minute videos.
We're at 14 subscribers on YouTube, but we have 40-something followers on Twitter, which we both know obviously is not a lot. But if we could just get everybody that follows us on Twitter to just go over to YouTube and click a button, give us some subscribers there and just check it all out.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you just, like I was saying, even if you just share our 2-minute videos, we appreciate that. I know a lot of my friends.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
A lot of my friends talk about those, and I know that they don't actually watch the podcast. So appreciate it all. Yeah. That's it.
That's all I got.
Till next time.
Deuces.